Is the Elder Scrolls 6 saved? Will Todd Howard save it? Let's discuss it today because there has been a couple of topics to discuss about the Elder Scrolls series lately, particularly the last Todd Howard interview where he said a lot of interesting things. And I also will discuss the Bruce Nesmith's commentary about the remake of Morrowind. But let's start with Todd Howard, who is the lead game designer and director at Bethesda, just in case you didn't know. Now, the reason why we're gonna discuss it is because what he said surprisingly gives hope that the Elder Scrolls 6 will be a good game. You see, not long ago I've made a video that is titled The Issues of the Elder Scrolls 6, where I explained my concerns for TS6, where I was quite pessimistic about the game. So what good things did Todd say to change that? Well, let's begin with the most massive thing. It is that Todd admitted the issues of Starfield. That is the last game developed by Bethesda. Todd said that the exploration in Starfield is tricky and it is a fair criticism, which is actually huge. In general, to hear from a developer that the criticism of their game is fair, it is something that is unheard of. No, really. As when did you hear such a thing from a video game developer? Usually they say that it is all gamers' fault. Whatever it is your fault. So by Todd owning up to it, he gained a lot of respect for it in my book. And when a person owns up to their mistakes, there is a chance that they will correct themselves. And then he kinda doubled down. Todd said that Fallout 76 and Starfield were a creative detour from classic Bethesda formula. And some people were saying that Bethesda formula is outdated because of Starfield, when Starfield is actually a detour. A further proof that some people don't know what they're talking about when it comes to video games. Now, Todd said that the Elder Scrolls 6 will return to the classic formula, which sounds promising. So again, those two topics really gave me hope for TS6. It doesn't mean that we're completely safe and TS6 is guaranteed to be awesome. It is a sign of a possibility. The other important thing that Todd said that I think is good news is that the Elder Scrolls 6 will run on Creation Engine 3. At first they said that it will run on Creation Engine 2 as well as Starfield, but Todd said that it is no longer the case. Long story short, a new engine means new technical capabilities, better visuals, and I hope less loading screens and better animations. Because Starfield, to be honest, lacked a lot in terms of visuals, especially in terms of NPC faces. The side characters usually had good faces, but background NPCs were just terrible, as well as the animations in general. Just compare the animations in Cyberpunk to animations in Starfield, and it all will be clear to you. Yet another W from Todd is about the AI. And no, it is not about the AI usage in general. I maybe will make a video about AI usage in video game development later, but what Todd said is that, quote, "The handcrafted human intention in video games is what makes things special, and that's where we wanna be." End of the quote. And again a W because that's basically implying that Bethesda wants, or at least promises to move away from procedural generation. That is, move from Starfield theme to a more traditional classic handcrafted world. That's what we all want. And Todd is completely right that the intent and idea are the things that can never be generated. It will never be good. Now before we move on, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I have a lot of Bethesda related videos. For example, the ideal of the Elder Scrolls 6 series, where I explain how TS6 must be to be an awesome game. Also videos on other topics, like a video about Japanese game development, a video on whether games are art, and many more. So subscribe now to not lose it. Now, aside from that, there are a couple little things mentioned by Todd that are noteworthy. First is that Todd said that majority of Bethesda team now works on TS6, to which I will say, finally. Because for years Bethesda was creating games that nobody asked for, so now they actually are gonna work on a game people want. But don't get your hopes up too much, because Todd said that TS6 won't come out for a while. And that's what I was always telling people, and people are always hoping that it will come out soon. We're at least 2 to 3 years away from the release, possibly even more because they had to update the engine, and that takes time too. And that's about all the important information about the Elder Scrolls 6 from Todd. But we'll also discuss the short interview of Bruce Nesmith, who is an ex-Bethesda employee, and unlike Todd, he is not owning to Bethesda mistakes. I have discussed his statements previously in my previous videos, but this time he was talking about Morrowind remaster/remake. Basically, remaster means updated visuals and a couple tweaks here and there, and a remake is a complete rework of the game. So Bruce was talking about how it is a bad idea and how cringy that game and that idea is. I personally have played Morrowind, but I don't think that when majority of people are talking about a remake, people want the old Morrowind chance-based combat or the old Morrowind journal. And that's the thing, Bruce was talking more about a remaster than a remake. He was complaining that Bethesda probably doesn't have the original code and stuff like that. But when people talk about it, people are talking about a full-scale remake. I don't think that there is even one person who prefers the original chance-based combat. It is not even a question, so I don't understand why discuss a remaster in the first place. Bruce says, "Go play Morrowind and tell me that's the game you wanna play." No shield surely, that's why we want a remake, to get rid of all the cringy moments and mechanics that you've talked about. And to do that we need a full remake. But Bruce not only doesn't like the idea of a remaster, he also rejects the idea for Morrowind remake. He says that to create such a remake, it will take as much effort as to create a new game from scratch. He says, "Let's revisit the land of Morrowind and do a new story. You can include the giant crab place and all of that stuff, but make it new and avoid all the things that would not survive the test of time." Now I'm gonna respond to why that is that people ask for Morrowind remake, even though what Bruce said is true. And the answer is clear to everyone who isn't Bruce Nesmith. Because gamers don't trust Bethesda to make a good The Elder Scrolls game from scratch. Isn't it what you all think? Tell me in the comments. The quality of Bethesda games have been declining for over a decade, so the trend of the quality is going downwards. So why would we trust you that your next game is gonna be good? With a remake, all the creative issues that you can't manage nowadays, all the answers to them already exist, and is already good. All you have to do is copy Morrowind and make it in the new game. Only the technical work, no creative work, no chance of failure. It is that simple. Yes, what Todd said gives hope for Test 6, but those are only words, no actions. And gamers would like to receive a good The Elder Scrolls game at least once in a generation. No, not the console generation, human generation. To have a good The Elder Scrolls game once in 20 years. We just want to live up to the times when we'll get another good test game and not die of old age. Is that too much to ask? Now, as Bruce said, let's have something new. And if you want something new so much, then in the remake you can have the whole territory of Morrowind playable. For those who doesn't know, in the original Morrowind only the central island was playable. So if you want to express your artistic talent and add something new, you can have that too. All the gamers ask is to have a guaranteed good The Elder Scrolls game, and the safest way to get it is by remaking Morrowind. That's why gamers want Morrowind remake. Frankly, if I were Microsoft bought Bethesda back in 2021, I would have closed Bethesda and would create a new studio that would make The Elder Scrolls games. And I think if Test 6 will not live up to the expectations, that's exactly what Microsoft will do. Now, and that's it for this topic. So how about checking out my other videos on the channel? Just pick up a topic you're interested in. I have plenty interesting videos already. See you there.